The supermarket hums like a temple. Rows of perfectly symmetrical fruit glisten under cold fluorescent light, each apple polished into a mirror. People push carts through aisles lined with endless variations of the same thing. 20 brands of water, 100 types of cereal. Their eyes move without focus, hands reaching for what's familiar, what's on sale, what promises a better version of themselves. Outside, billboards flash like commandments. Buy, upgrade, desire, repeat. This is not chaos. This is control, beautifully organized, invisibly enforced. Modern consumerism doesn't demand obedience through fear. It seduces us through freedom. It whispers, you are choosing this. You are not told to buy. You are invited to express yourself, to craft your identity through possessions. Every purchase becomes a performance of who you think you are, or worse, who you wish others believed you to be. Yet beneath this illusion of choice lies a quiet enslavement more complete than any empire of the past could have achieved. We used to toil for survival. Now we toil for symbols. We have traded the whip for Wi-Fi, the overseer for the algorithm. Our ancestors were bound by chains of iron. We are bound by chains of desire, shimmering, seductive, and voluntary. Think about the phone in your hand. It is both tool and tether. Every notification is a flicker of dopamine, a chemical leash disguised as convenience. Every swipe, every scroll, every ad fine-tuned to your subconscious impulses. You do not simply own your phone. It owns fragments of your attention, your time, your thoughts. It learns you better than you know yourself, and then sells your reflection back to you in curated ads and lifestyle aspirations. The paradox is chilling. We believe we are more autonomous than ever, yet our desires are prescripted, our cravings pre-calculated. The modern system doesn't need to control our bodies, it only needs to shape our appetites. Consumerism has perfected slavery because it made it voluntary. It made the cage invisible and called it freedom. Consider how language itself has shifted. We are no longer citizens, but consumers. The measure of our worth is not moral, spiritual, or communal, but economic. Success is quantified by ownership, happiness by accumulation. Even rebellion has been commodified. The counterculture becomes fashion, the protest becomes a brand, the spiritual retreat becomes a luxury package. Every attempt to escape is swiftly absorbed into the market's bloodstream, repackaged and sold back to us. This isn't accidental, it's systemic. Our economy depends on dissatisfaction. To keep the machine running, you must feel incomplete, perpetually yearning. You must chase the next purchase that promises to fix the gnawing void within you. But the void cannot be filled because it is the engine of the entire system. The philosopher Eric from once wrote, "Man is not free from what he wants, but free to want what he needs." In modern consumerism, that freedom has inverted. We are now free to want endlessly but rarely free to need meaningfully. You see it in the fatigue that no vacation can fix, in the digital clutter that fills our minds, in the sense that no matter how much we buy, how many goals we achieve, something essential remains untouched. We live inside abundance yet starve for authenticity. We are surrounded by comfort yet haunted by anxiety. The modern marketplace does not simply sell products. It sells identities, aspirations, belonging. But every identity it offers comes with a price tag, every aspiration with a subscription. The illusion of individuality is just another marketing strategy. And so, we walk willingly into our golden cages, smiling as the door clicks shut behind us, believing we have chosen it. Yet somewhere, deep beneath the noise of consumption, a quiet question lingers. A question most of us avoid asking because it threatens the foundation of everything we've built our lives upon. If our choices are manufactured, our desires engineered, and our freedom commodified, then what does it truly mean to be free? Desire has always been the engine of civilization, but never before has it been so precisely engineered, so deliberately cultivated, so ruthlessly efficient. Once upon a time, desire emerged organically. A hunger for food, warmth, love, recognition. Now, desire itself is a manufactured product. Every want is designed, tested, refined, and deployed with surgical precision by corporations that understand the human psyche better than most philosophers ever did. Modern marketing isn't about selling products. It's about sculpting longing. Behind every advertisement lies an army of behavioral psychologists, data scientists, and neuroscientists, all devoted to a single purpose: ensuring that you want something you didn't know existed yesterday. The goal isn't merely to satisfy needs, but to create new ones faster than they can ever be fulfilled. This is how the machinery of desire operates. It studies you not as an individual, but as a pattern of impulses, clicks, and emotional responses. Every like, every search, every pause on a screen contributes to your psychological fingerprint. Algorithms then build a portrait of your hidden cravings, those you don't even confess to yourself, and feed them back to you in a perfectly timed digital mirror. The brilliance and horror of this system is its invisibility. We believe we are acting out of free will when we click Add to Cart, but the architecture of our decision was laid out long before our consciousness caught up. In a world of personalized advertising, there is no need for overt coercion. Manipulation works best when it feels like self-expression. The market has colonized the most intimate part of the human soul, our capacity to desire. This manipulation extends far beyond products. It infiltrates relationships, identity, even morality. We are taught to brand ourselves on social media, to craft an image that's appealing and consumable. Authenticity becomes performance. Even our vulnerability, the cracks and scars that once made us human, is now a marketable aesthetic. The system does not care whether you are genuine, only that you are engaging. Desire itself becomes currency. Attention becomes the commodity. Every scroll is an act of surrender. But perhaps the most haunting aspect is that we are complicit in our own conditioning. We welcome the algorithmic oracle. We let it learn us, guide us, comfort us. We crave the convenience it offers, even as it quietly rewires our minds. This is the brilliance of modern control. It doesn't demand obedience through force but through pleasure. The more delightful the chain, the more permanent the bondage. In this sense, our desires have become both the lock and the key of our enslavement. The more we pursue fulfillment through consumption, the emptier we become, and the emptier we become, the more we consume. It's a feedback loop so perfect that it doesn't even need a tyrant to sustain it. We have been taught to see happiness as something external, a product, a lifestyle, a brand alignment. But when every desire points outward, inward silence becomes unbearable. We seek stimulation to drown out the disquiet of unmediated existence. To sit in stillness without buying, scrolling, or seeking validation feels almost radical. The philosopher Jean Baudrillard warned, "We live in a world where there is more and more information and less meaning." He understood the paradox, that the more choices we're given, the less freedom we actually experience. Each new option fragments our attention, diffuses our identity, and deepens our dependence on systems that profit from our confusion. And so the machinery of desire hums on, invisible and relentless, powered by billions of micro-decisions made in the illusion of autonomy. We are both its creators and its captives. Every advertisement, every trend, every digital echo is a gear turning inside this vast apparatus. And as it spins, it does not just shape what we buy, it shapes who we are becoming. If the system can define our desires so completely, what happens to the concept of self? When every want is a whisper from the marketplace, can we still claim ownership over our own minds? The next step in this descent isn't the loss of freedom. It's the loss of the awareness that freedom was ever possible. Walk through any city street, and you will see an infinite masquerade. Faces lit by phone screens, bodies draped in brands, voices echoing the same curated vocabulary of trends and aesthetics. We tell ourselves we are unique, that our tastes define us, that our choices express who we truly are. But look closely, our individuality has been mass-produced. Modern consumerism has done something extraordinary. It has transformed identity itself into a product. We no longer discover who we are through introspection or experience, but through acquisition. We buy, therefore we are. The question is no longer who am I, but what do I consume? This is not just an economic shift. It's a metaphysical one. The soul has been outsourced to the marketplace. Personality, once the organic flowering of life and struggle, now blooms from corporate soil. Our wardrobes, our devices, even our values are curated through algorithms that promise personalization but deliver homogenization. We call it self-expression, yet we all end up expressing the same few scripts: minimalist aesthetic, wellness lifestyle, tech-savvy modernity. Even rebellion has a brand now. Anti-establishment is a marketing category. Every edge is rounded, every radical gesture monetized, every difference diluted until it can be safely sold. The illusion works because it flatters us. The system doesn't erase individuality, it simulates it. It gives us the sense of distinctiveness without the burden of depth. We feel unique not because we are, but because we have been given products that look unique. Social media is the mirror where this illusion reflects endlessly. We perform our lives before invisible audiences, translating our experiences into content. The platform rewards visibility, not authenticity. The measure of worth becomes quantifiable. Likes, shares, engagement. We become the product and the advertiser simultaneously, selling ourselves in exchange for a fleeting sense of validation. But behind the smiling filters and brand-sponsored optimism lies an exhaustion that no self-help mantra can disguise. Because maintaining a marketable identity requires constant vigilance. Every day, we must update our digital selves, polish our image, and stay relevant. The fear of invisibility, the new social death, drives us to keep performing. What we call identity today is more like a subscription service. It must be renewed constantly, upgraded frequently, and validated publicly. And beneath all of this is a quiet spiritual erosion. To know oneself deeply requires silence, contradiction, and the courage to face discomfort. Consumer culture offers none of these. It replaces introspection with distraction, depth with spectacle, meaning with metrics. We are conditioned to think that who we are can be discovered through purchase, clothes that represent our vibe, products that align with our values, lifestyles that project our authentic selves. But what happens when the system itself defines what authentic means? What if even our resistance is choreographed? Consider how swiftly the marketplace absorbs rebellion. Environmentalism becomes a brand campaign. Spirituality becomes a product line. Feminism becomes a t-shirt slogan. Every movement for liberation is stripped of its teeth, repackaged in soft colors, and sold back to the masses. The revolution becomes retail. And in this endless cycle, the self dissolves not through oppression, but through imitation. Friedrich Nietzsche once warned, "The individual has always had to struggle to keep from being overwhelmed by the tribe." Yet in our time, the tribe has taken on a new form. Not a group of people bound by belief, but an algorithmic swarm bound by consumption. We do not gather around ideals, we gather around brands. The tragedy is not that we've lost our individuality, but that we no longer mourn its loss. We have been taught that identity is a costume to be changed at will, that reinvention is a virtue. And while the freedom to transform can be beautiful, when guided by the logic of consumption, it becomes hollow, a cycle of endless becoming without ever truly being. So we continue to scroll, shop, post, repeat, believing we are evolving when in truth we are only updating. Our reflection grows sharper, our soul dimmer. The question then becomes, if every layer of our identity has been crafted by external forces, is there anything left beneath it? Or has the self become just another brand among brands, empty, flexible, and for sale? There is a strange irony at the heart of modern civilization. The more we possess, the emptier we feel. Never before has humanity had so much comfort, so much abundance, so much access to pleasure. And yet, never before has there been so much quiet despair. Anxiety, burnout, and loneliness have become the default hum of our collective psyche. We are drowning in options but starving for meaning. This is not a failure of the system. It is its triumph. The economy of consumerism thrives on the cultivation of emptiness. It is not designed to satisfy, it is designed to sustain hunger. Every advertisement is a promise that whispers, "You will be complete when," But completion is never the goal. The goal is perpetual pursuit. The moment desire is fulfilled, the engine falters. Thus, the market's survival depends on our dissatisfaction. We are taught to chase happiness as though it were a commodity, something to be earned, upgraded, or delivered. But happiness, stripped of context and community, becomes just another product code. The system carefully defines what happiness should look like. Luxury, success, beauty, recognition. It then sells us endless fragments of that illusion. And so, our lives become a treadmill of acquisition. Each new purchase provides a temporary high, a flicker of euphoria that fades the moment reality returns. The void inside us grows quieter for a while, then louder than before. What we call progress is often nothing more than the escalation of this cycle. Faster delivery, shorter satisfaction. This is the invisible economy of emptiness. It monetizes longing. It turns human restlessness into revenue. In this world, stillness is rebellion. Contentment is dangerous, because a content human being, a person who feels whole, stops buying. And when you stop buying, the machine stops moving. That is why every form of peace is subtly commodified and resold. Meditation becomes an app. Minimalism becomes a luxury aesthetic. Simplicity becomes a $300 candle labeled Zen. Even the pursuit of meaning is monetized. The system has perfected the art of hollowing us out and then selling us the illusion of fullness. But what happens to a society that builds its foundations on perpetual dissatisfaction? The answer is visible everywhere. In the quiet desperation of office cubicles, the medicated smiles of suburbia, the fatigue hidden behind influencer perfection. We are overstimulated yet numb, connected yet isolated, comforted yet unfulfilled. The economy demands we keep moving, keep consuming, keep believing that the next thing will save us. But in truth, we are working harder and feeling less alive. We have built an empire on sand, an empire of cravings without contentment, production without purpose. In this sense, consumerism has replaced religion. The mall is the new cathedral, the smartphone the sacred text. Both promise transcendence, both demand devotion. Yet where traditional faiths once offered redemption through sacrifice, modern faith offers redemption through spending. Salvation is now a transaction. And like all religions, this one has its rituals. The Black Friday pilgrimage, the unboxing ceremony, the digital confession of haul videos. The altar is no longer carved from stone but from pixels and packaging. And the God we worship has no name, only a logo. Soren Kierkegaard once observed, "The most common form of despair is not being who you are." What greater despair than living in a world that profits from your loss of self? The economy of emptiness depends on our alienation from nature, from community, from our own being. The farther we drift from these anchors, the more products we need to simulate their return. The result is a world that feels like it's spinning faster but going nowhere. A society that confuses distraction for progress, consumption for connection, and novelty for meaning. We are, in every sense, haunted by abundance. And yet, somewhere beneath the fatigue and noise, something ancient still stirs. The faint memory of what it means to be whole without owning, to be human without performing. That memory is dangerous to the system, because if we ever remembered it fully, the machinery of emptiness would collapse. But can we awaken from a dream that rewards us for staying asleep? If modern consumerism is the perfected form of slavery, then freedom must begin with seeing the chains for what they are: beautiful, seductive, and voluntary. But awakening is not easy. The system has burrowed deep into the architecture of our lives, into the smallest gestures of daily routine. Even our attempts to escape are often absorbed and resold. To walk away from this illusion is not merely an act of rebellion. It is an act of remembrance. To remember what? That we were not born to consume. We were born to create, to connect, to wonder, to suffer meaningfully. We were born to inhabit life, not to decorate it. The first step toward liberation is awareness. Not the shallow kind preached by self-help culture, the kind you can buy in paperback or practice through a guided app, but the raw, disquieting awareness that pierces comfort. It's the realization that every choice you make has been shaped by unseen forces, that what feels natural may, in fact, be conditioned. This awareness is painful because it dismantles the illusion that we are in control. But only through this pain can we begin to see the architecture of our own captivity. True awareness does not reject the material world. It simply restores proportion. It sees the phone as a tool, not a master. Money as a medium, not a measure of worth. Comfort as a gift, not a goal. To awaken is not to renounce consumption. It is to consume consciously, to know the cost of every convenience, the echo of every purchase. Yet awareness alone is not enough. The machinery of desire is too powerful, too adaptive. What we need is a new ethic, a way of living that resists commodification not through denial, but through depth. Depth is the antidote to the shallowness of consumer life. To live deeply is to feel the weight of time, the presence of others, the reality of the earth beneath your feet. It is to reclaim slowness in a culture that worships speed, to cultivate silence in a world addicted to noise. Depth cannot be marketed because it cannot be simplified. It grows only through attention, through care, through honest confrontation with the discomforts we spend our lives avoiding. In rediscovering depth, we rediscover meaning. And meaning, unlike pleasure, does not expire. The philosopher Viktor Frankl wrote, "Those who have a why to live can bear almost any how." The tragedy of our age is not that we suffer, it is that we suffer for nothing. Our pain has been stripped of purpose, our longing redirected towards screens and stores. The moment we reclaim our why, the entire edifice of consumer slavery begins to crumble. Freedom, then, is not found in rejecting the world, but in reinterpreting it. It begins when we choose to define value differently, to measure success not by accumulation, but by authenticity, to seek experiences that nourish rather than numb, to rebuild relationships that are not transactional but transformative. Imagine a life where happiness is no longer a pursuit but a presence, where identity is not a brand but a becoming, where worth is not assigned by algorithms but revealed through compassion, creation, and courage. This vision is not utopian, it is ancient. Our ancestors lived with less yet felt more alive, more connected, more aware of the sacredness of existence. We have the technology to connect the planet, yet we struggle to connect with ourselves. Perhaps progress is not moving forward, but circling back, recovering the wisdom we traded for convenience. The path beyond the illusion will not be paved by institutions or revolutions. It begins quietly, in the mind of an individual who dares to stop scrolling, to stop buying, to start seeing. Each act of conscious choice weakens the system's hold. Each moment of genuine presence defies the machinery of distraction. Consumerism thrives on collective sleep, but history has shown that even the deepest slumber can end with a single awakening. Freedom, in the end, is not the absence of chains. It is the recognition that the door has always been open. We need only to step through it, carrying nothing but ourselves. And in that simplicity, in that naked, unbranded state of being, we may finally remember what it means to be human again.